Greetings. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Tim Morosky. I'm the owner of Mavis Games and the creative director for Antreya Chronicles Online, an upcoming MMORPG. We're taking you on a tour of Antreya Chronicles' largest city, Axeholis. This is a collaborative effort between Antreya Productions, Not So Silent Studios, and Mavis Games LLC, of course. We're going to run through the area that I've been building for the last 2,600 hours, give or take. And I'm going to be pointing out things specifically that I did not build because it's actually easier to point out than the things that I did build. We'll begin quickly here with these lights. These were done by Simon Hatch, one of the other 3D modelers on the project. I did all of Simon's texture work. And Simon's got quite a few pieces inside of here. Let's point out another object here. The shelf was built by Zach Trahan, one of the other members on the team. And there's a few other objects inside of here that I was not directly responsible for the build. I'll make sure that I point these out as we go. This was built by Simon, just the spherical object between the pipes. It's a furnace. These over here, these are player-run shops, so players will be able to purchase a shop for the day to sell their wares throughout the city. We're going to take a long run over here. Let's start over on this side. Over here, we've got player houses that people will be able to purchase or rent on a monthly basis, or if they purchase them, they'll be owning them outright. Let's go ahead and run on through. Now, most of these, you'll notice that the doors are currently open, basically everywhere. That's mostly for my testing purposes. They told me that I didn't have to do the doors. I said, "Are you sure?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Right." So we just left them open for testing purposes. Everything is level streamed in and out as we need them. There have been multiple optimization techniques used, including object merging, level stream optimization, via level streaming volumes or trigger volumes, depending on what particular situation we happen to be using. So we're going to go ahead and take a run through the area and take a look at some of the features that were built for this particular area. This over here, I was looking for one of these. This would be a merchant house. If you happen to purchase a merchant house, you'll be able to sell wares directly from your house without the need to purchase or rent a shop for the day. So let's go ahead and run over here. These furnaces, also built by Simon. And again, I did do all of Simon's texture work. And let's take it over to... let's head this way. Inside of here, this sign itself was modeled by Joe Bissell. I did the texture work on this one. Most of the decal work done by Joxon Art. Most of the design work for props and such were done by Gwozdansky. We've got a lot of people on this project, so I'm trying to make sure that I get credit where credit is due. So let's go ahead and run through here. Each one of these houses that you'll see is individually streamed in for use on demand. Basically, if we don't need it, we take it out of the world. And that'll keep our performance nice and high. We're going to run through this direction. We're going to run back down. The entire city features 433 individual housing units for players to purchase or rent in order to keep their stuff safe. They could probably just drop it somewhere in the world, but there's no guarantee some other players are just going to run through and pick one of those up, pick up the objects and run off with them. So if you want to keep your stuff secure, house. The larger the house you have, the more stuff you can store. So you can see where it would be advantageous to have a larger area to live in. Each one of these buildings that we're running past right now are broken down into individual apartment buildings. If we take a look inside of here, we can see each one has its own little level. No two players on the server, well, per server. No two players in any given server will be able to own the same house. So one house per player per server. So no two people will be able to own the same property. We're going to run back out through here, and we'll make it back out through this way eventually, but not quite yet. Let's run down this direction. We can see all kinds of eye candy. I've been popping a lot of work into this thing. So here's an example of a larger merchant house. more stuff to be sold in any given opportunity for one of the larger ones. Let's run back over here. We're going to head up this ramp and take a look at some of the other areas. So just go ahead and sit back and enjoy some of the scenery. And if you want any other information on Antreya Chronicles Online, let's go this way. Then I'll make sure to post relevant links to plenty of information. Our website, AntreyaChronicles.com, for example. I'll also make sure to include the Discord and Facebook pages for not just myself, but Antreya Chronicles Online as well. And for the most part, I do actually do my work live on Twitch frequently. So if you want to check me out there at twitch.tv/MavisGames, please feel free to do so. Let's go ahead and take a look inside of each one of these. So these are individual rooms. These would be the slums. I'm not sure how much we'll be charging for anything yet. These are all kind of up in the air decisions. But let's say you want one of the larger places, for example. You can get one of these, somewhat decorated. Again, this shelf was built by Zach Trahan. I want to make sure that we get credit where credit is due. So I want to make sure to point out things that I did not indeed do the 3D modeling of. For the most part, I've done 99.9% of the texture work, minus that one shelf built by Zach Trahan. He's got his own asset pile building up as we go through. More stuff down here. Love the visualization. There's all kinds of places for people to just look out across the area and see how vast it really is. It's quite a bit of work done. Still quite a bit more to do. It's not quite fully optimized yet, but we're getting close. I've been enjoying the process so far. Here's a look at some of our in-game objects. Some weaponry. Let's head over to... Let's go to the Grand Manor. So we're going to head up over this way. Come up these steps. And head inside of here. The Grand Manor will be kind of like a city within the city. If you happen to live here, you'll be able to experience some of the perks. For example, this will be a shop for players to shop at. If you happen to live inside of the Grand Manor, anyone else won't even be able to access that. Here's probably one of our more complete areas, the dining room inside the Grand Manor. And this, of course, is broken down into, I want to say it was 46 individual units inside of there for players to purchase or rent. This will be an example of a much larger player house. These ones will be pricey, but they'll be packed full of benefits. For example, you'll be able to hold all kinds of stuff inside of these rooms. A house of this size will have quite the large inventory limit placed on it. It won't be very small. It'll be hard to pack it up, that's for sure. Look up over inside of here. This guy's got a nice little shed of some kind. We'll call it a private bedroom or the guest house. Who knows? Maybe we'll make this a guild house. I'm not really 100% on this yet. There's plenty of things to be determined, which is kind of awesome. We've still got lots of work to go and lots of opportunities to do some interesting stuff, make some good decisions. The character, you may be wondering, is not going to be the in-game character. For all the UE4 nerds out there, you'll recognize it immediately, but this is basically just the UE4 Unreal Engine 4 test dummy, so to speak. Back over here, we've got the Grand Manor again. We'll be running right past this. We're going to make our way over to the tower complex, climb up to the top of the tower. There's so many places that we can go and visit. It would probably take me a solid 45 minutes at least of running around just to be able to find literally every last building that we can go inside of. These I'm toying with the idea of making them little crafting markets. So you want to build up a new piece of armor, you don't happen to have a crafting place inside of your house, you can come to one of these public places. Some of the larger houses will be able to equip all kinds of things for crafting, but some of them not quite so much. You'll be able to store mostly inventory, but that's about it. We don't want to allow the players themselves... Actually, let's run over this way. We don't want to make it so the players can't experience the full realm of gameplay. So we want to make sure that they can actually craft things when they need to. We're going to go ahead and climb up to the top of the tower. Now this thing's broken down into all kinds of little one-man apartments. Some of the rooms a little larger than others, some of them a little smaller. Alright, looks like I'm on the top floor. Yeah. Let's go ahead and have a look at the overview of the city. Check that out. And granted, the lights haven't been built in forever. Like, easily 1,700 hours of development time I haven't built the lights. So we're getting a lot of preview lighting here. Overall, though, not bad. We've made lots of progress. Head out this way. We're going to run back down behind the tower complex itself. We could run all the way... Actually, we're running all the way down to the base. So this sinks down into ground level. We've still got the lights turned off just outside of the tower. Having performance issues. Got to figure out exactly how I'm going to make those adjustments to make it run a little more smoothly. That's probably 90% of our problem right now, because we've got a bunch of lights on. That's okay, though. As long as we know what it is, it's not too difficult to tweak. Let's run out through this direction. You'll notice it says preview here on the floor. That's because of the lighting. Let's make our way out over here. And where will we go? If we run back over this way, this ramp will take us back up to access to the tower complex. Let's go ahead and take a look anyways. This one over here is probably one of my favorite houses. I like this one. It's huge. Probably the biggest individual house in the game. We may make this a guild house. We've got some options here. We can do all kinds of things. We'll take a look over this way. Up top. And there's a deck right over here. Got a nice good view of the city. I don't like this one. Might keep it for myself. That would be kind of mean, wouldn't it? I mean, I built it. What do you want? Okay, so let's head on out this way and make our way back towards the base of the tower, which is over here. No good MMORPG would be without an auction house, so we've made sure to place one. This is roughly centrally placed throughout the city. It doesn't take very long to get to any place, or get to there from basically anywhere in the city. A minute or two. Now let's head back up inside of here. Now keep an eye over this way. Right here. We're going to run back out of this in just a moment. I'll show you where it goes in at. Head up over this way. More apartment buildings. The city interior. We may actually run past that area that I initially said we're running out of. We'll take a look at it though. This is one of our brothels. It's called Wenches and Mead. We've got all that you need at Wenches and Mead. Don't bother asking for a menu. We only serve 2 things here. One of them's mead. You know, it's all in good fun. So this is that section where I said we could run out of. Notice, take a look over there. We're going to go ahead and run back in here. and go through the area that actually leads to this interior section from the first tier of buildings, which is right down over here. There we go. And if we run over to the right, we'll see those generators again that made by Simon. There they are. And now let's run over to so many places we can go and visit. Already run down there. We're going to take a stroll across the bridge, I suppose. Let's head on down this way. Somebody had asked me to post some screenshots of some of my more favorite areas, but honestly, I figured it'd be easier to just do a little run through, post it up to YouTube here, and allow you guys to see a large section of the city. Make up your own decision of what you like the best. Instead of me pointing out the things that I like the best, you know, allow the viewer to make the choice himself or herself. Let's run out through this way. And up to the bridge we go. This has a nice little look over the bay. I'm really enjoying this area so far. I like the reflection off the water from those furnaces across the way. Cool little area. These will be used for warehousing, these large barn type buildings. Harbor Master House will be up there. Won't really be a place for people to live though. We're gonna have to fill this with boxes or something. Out over here. And back down to the city entryway. There's so many places that we can go and visit, but this was a quick and brief look at the world that I've been constructing for quite some time. So thank you guys for joining me. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Go ahead and feel free to hit that subscribe button. Check me out on Facebook as well as on Twitch. I'll make sure that all the links are in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been fun. I've been Tim Morosky, the creative director for Mavis Games, and the owner of Mavis Games, and the creative director for Antreya Chronicles Online. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.